we are back live. It is 7 p.m. as we promised, and we are now on, what is it, Sunday. And today we are talking about the fact that your beauty is in high demand. Now, here goes Don here. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Mr. Pooh.
Hey, beautiful. How you
You
doing?
look nice.
Likewise. I love the dress. Yes.
Listen, it's a story behind it. Thank
Oh
you,
my
thank you,
goodness.
thank you.
Of course.
The story is my AC. Remember, I was telling you earlier my AC. So we got it back, but I think I left it running. So it's now telling me I gotta wait like 2 hours for it to actually turn on. So I was like, I don't need no clothes on today. Girl,
Yes.
honey, you looking as fab as always. Yes, Miss
Oh
Dawn,
no,
showing
honey.
up, showing
It
up.
is it is you tonight. You look great. I
Thank you,
absolutely
thank
love
you,
this
thank you.
dress.
Girl, I love being soft and feminine, honey.
Of
Yes. Oh
course.
my gosh, I'm loving it. Is that a jacket? What is that? What's that you wearing? That's
It,
bad right there, Dawn.
well, thank you very much. It's a classic vintage.
Oh,
I'm
we on the Chanel right now. Oh, okay, honey. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So so today we are on Salon Talk. We are talking about your beauty is in high demand.
Hmm.
And the reason I brought this up, we're going to start off, of course, with the current events, what's been going on in the news, what men have been talking about today. We want to talk about that. And I want to go ahead and hello, I am Coach Lee, and we have the beautiful celebrity hairstylist, makeup artist, Dawn Ferguson. All right, the co-host
Hello.
of Salon Talk. So welcome to Salon Talk. So a couple of days ago, I was on social media. I think it was Facebook, and it came across about Michael Baisden. Michael Baisden off of, I think Michael Baisden is with who? Ricky Smiley them, right? And so he put up, he said only men, he wanted to know like what were some of the things that men couldn't stand that women were wearing or doing, right? And that's what brought on the topic of your beauty is your hide your hair, your beauty is your what's the word? Is in high demand and you guys don't realize it. So I'm going to talk about the current events and then we can like go off and down. Don, I don't know if you if you got yours up, but let me read mine. So the question was, how is it? What is it that men can't stand that they see women out in? And these are some of the topics that Don and I have been talking about in our lives. And I know some women like, I don't care what a man say. You need to care because it is not just men. It was women on here too, like co-signing, talking about the things that we got going on. So the first one was the Jiffy Pop cap. The Jiffy Pop cap, which is he was talking about the bonnet, the mafia bonnets
Oh
that
my
we talk
goodness.
about. So he said the Jiffy pop cap, y'all call them bonnets. The next one was waistbands with no waist. So we talk about the whole thing, right? The next one, a young Dietrich Young said, I hate to see women in public beating their head because that dirty, stinky wig is itching. Maybe
Oh my
you should take it off and give it a break. Take it to the car wash and spray it down.
no, he did not.
He sure did, honey. Yes, the brother did. Yes, the brother did.
Oh my
It
goodness.
it was, I mean, when I was on it, it was in the thousands of comments and stuff like that. This is one more, and we're gonna elaborate. This is Lango, Edward Lango. These are men, Spanish, black, white, all of them came on. These are the things they're complaining about. Grown baby hair, extended eyelashes, wigs that's starting to the root cause they've been in too long. Wow. uh, at night with a bonnet on, and then say I'm not romantic because she looked like Harriet Tubman. Like we go free, we getting free at midnight. So these are some of the things that they are talking about. And then the last one I'm gonna say is the pillowcase they call a bonnet with pajamas in public. All right. The pajamas in public that I said, I'm like, I don't understand why we think that looks good, right? Hello, spooks. Hello. It says a pillowcase and the pajamas in public, casket ready makeup. Don, this is Will, the celebrity. This is celebrity barber. Classic casket. That means dead casket ready makeup and sun visor lashes. I'm done. Lastly, he says, I am a professional, and they sometimes have the edges from the weave too far out from the actual weave. Not a good look. This is celebrity barber. What we talking about?
Well, there you have it. This is how men feel about what women look like out in the public. Like, I mean, how much you probably need to read it again and break it up in little subtitles and give us a whole hour to talk on each subject. And
Don, first of all, I didn't even read all of them. I just gave you a little piece of some of that stuff. Oh my God, wearing flip flops, so-called edges that's really bangs that slick down. Now we already know who this is. It's our culture of women. Now you know what I'm saying. And this is I have done videos and things like that. And I want to say something. Always want to because you know we laughing and everything like that. But the seriousness of it, this is what I want everyone to hear that's dealing with that may struggle in that area where it's like, well, you think you don't, it's not attractive. Being attractive is not the rent you pay for being women in this world. Okay. So it's not the rent you pay for being women in this world. However, it being attractive has nothing to do with them stating that you need to take care of yourself. That is showing in this world or showing to yourself self-love, Lucy. So this is where we get the triggered women that come in and you make these statements and it's okay. But what we're saying is that this is part of your self-care, showing the world how you love yourself. Now, brought out the men. When it was women on here, I can read what the women were saying, how they know people like this. They don't want to be associated with that, right? And it's harsh. It's hard to hear you like, oh, you get upset about it. But the reality is that the things that you guys are replacing, because this is what the trend is or what everybody is wearing, it doesn't make sense because you already naturally have those things. We have the full lips. We have I've seen women with beautiful lashes. And there's nothing wrong with adding lashes. And I had this video I did about what men think is natural beauty. And I mean, Don, it triggers some people. They're like, oh, we don't care what men think and this and that. And I'm like, but you do care. Well, what you getting dressed for? What are you going to get those long lashes for? What are you going to get? Um, what are you wearing these wigs? You're wearing wigs. They're just pointing out what, as a woman, what we see. You're wearing wigs for weeks and months at a time. Why? And yeah, it's your prerogative, but at the same time, the things that you have that you can take care of, you refuse to do that. Instead, we do this. We're replacing things that we already have naturally. Am I
right.
making sense, Don? You want to add on
Yeah.
to it?
Yes, we have to be mindful of how we carry and how we move about.
Right.
It's just a natural care of yourself. And the things that they stated were mostly hygiene, right?
Right.
It was mostly hygiene, dirty wig,
Mm-hmm.
flip flops, foot dragger. It was all, reference to low minded, low self esteem,
Mm-hmm.
um, image. So we all
Right.
know in the beauty industry or the beauty itself is all about imaging. And that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
first things that they tell us or teach us in the industry is your first appearance is how you present yourself in the public,
Right.
right? So that means your hygiene, that means your nails need to be clipped or all
Mm-hmm.
these things
Mm-hmm.
are personal hygiene routines for self-care, exercise, diet. You don't need someone else to um to validate it, but what they're saying is it speaks in volume. It's like you look horrible. You look
Right.
hideous, absolutely hideous with these overextended. I mean, windshield wipers, because remember, guys really aren't into stuff like that. They don't know if it's a wig. They don't know, right? But if a man can tell that you're wearing a wig or that's not your natural hairline, it's like, hello.
Right.
You know what
Eh,
I'm saying? Because normally men don't notice things like that, right? But if they're noticing things like that, it speaks volumes.
right. I wish I could post this video where I was watching on TikTok where it was a Caucasian guy and he made the statement that it was hard to read. I keep waiting for a lady on the left to take off. Chris, don't. All right. So anyway, on the video, the guy said it was a Caucasian older guy. He said all your women do is wear wigs, unbelievable long lashes, and twerk all day. And I was just like, whoa, you know. And the thing is that a lot of us get to a place where we're like, oh, a lot of us get to a place where, and I see it because in the comments they already made the comment or whatever. It's like, we're not being attracted to get our rent paid, but you should be. We have to understand as women, right, that we are examples of for somebody, whether it's being an example for your girls, your sons, on what type of woman that you want them to bring home, whether it's being an example for your household, if you're married, and so on and so forth. But most important, regardless of any of that, let's say you are single, if you're single, married, widowed, whatever the case may be, you should be women like natural beauty and hair. All right. Tell it, Mr. Augustus. You should not get offended when someone is telling you, whether it's something that they're telling you that is not attractive. Instead, you should be saying, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why don't I take care of myself? Why do I have this wig that I'm wearing? Let me tell you what happened as well. This hairstylist was in Texas, and this lady came in, and she had a wig on, and she had a wig on, and she had her hair braided down. Now the lady, you could tell her braids was long. The lady had that hair braided down with the wig, that same wig on for 6 months. I said, so the stylist takes it off her head and she says, I can't, she couldn't take it out because it was dreaded so bad. It was, the hair had turned like gray that, and you, Don, you can identify with me. When you deal with those people and they be smoking and all this stuff and they taking that wig off, it is really hard. To be honest, I tell them, I can't. So the lady had to cut the plaits off. She had to cut the whole braid and the plait off of her hair. So her hair was shorter than mine. Her hair was more like this, the backside of my hair. So she said I had to tell her I couldn't braid her hair down because she wanted it braided again and she wanted to put another wig on.
Wow.
Now, right. So you walking around with this wig sewed onto your hair braided down for 6 months. How is that? And you think that people are not going to make a comment? They're going to make a comment. And guess what, y'all? She had long hair. I understand it's nothing wrong with wearing wigs and weave. But when you think that the wig and weave is a part of your body, that it grew out of your scalp, that's when it becomes a problem. Because then you're coming to a hairstylist and now you want that particular hairstylist or cosmetologist to perform a miracle. And we're going to tell you the truth. So what I would have done, I would have told her, I would explain to her, you had beautiful, beautiful long hair. Your hair is actually in demand, right? That hair she could have had, that's not something that a lot of women struggle with having hair. They're dealing with hair loss, especially in our community. So the fact that she didn't even care that she had that hair, now all of her hair is gone. Her hair was literally, you could tell by the braid, it was just long because it was already hanging out and the lady had to pull it down. And this is my point to you guys. Your body, God created our bodies beautiful, our lips, our nose, different things like that, that we cannot see our beauty. This channel is not to pick and point out the negativity, but it's to let you know that you are beautiful. It is nothing wrong with adding enhancements. But when we get to the point where we are altering our bodies, and I'm not talking about medical reasons, or I'm not talking about the fact of, hey, you had children, your breasts on your knees. You know, a lady told me that. She's like, honey, I'm not talking about that. And it's nothing wrong with that. But it is something wrong when we don't ever want to wear our natural beauty. It's in demand. Black women of all shades, of all shapes, are some of the most beautiful women in the world, but we find it the hardest to look at. We men like natural beauty and hair. Okay, I read that already. I thought it said something else. So we are, and I'm not saying that the other women are not, the other race of women are not, but we are the one that's struggling with identity, right? We are the one that's replacing. I had a good friend. Let me tell you this. I had a good friend. She is, every time she come in a room, somebody looking at her. She was just a beautiful girl, long, thick hair, everything, right? Fair skin, light skin. And she looked like a Barbie, like really, literally a Barbie, right? And she said to me, I want to change my nose. She had a flat nose and she wanted to change her nose to a little pointy nose. And I said to her, why? And she was like, oh, because then I said, but you're gorgeous. Like I had to have a 2-hour conversation with her because she was, we're in the industry together. She was making money and she was like, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I said, when you do that, you're gonna look like everybody else. You're gonna look like the light-skinned girl with the long hair with a pretty nose. That's what you're gonna look like, you know. And then I said, your nose is actually like a trademark of you. Like it's like people know you because she had a different look. She looked exotic and her nose wasn't like so broad away. It was a cute nose, but it's just flatter. And eventually it took her some time or whatever, but eventually she was like, I like my face. So many of us, and I speak to you guys because it's not like I'm saying it to you like I'm just preaching to you. I understand because I was the same. I grew up in Miami, Florida. I graduated high school 74 pounds. I'm a dark skinned woman. I was very, very skinny, right? And I had long hair, but I cut my hair. So I understand. I used to say, if I could just get thicker, if I could just get me some more backside, if I could just get my thighs bigger. But guess what? That's not how God made me. When I saw my father is a small man. My daughter is a smaller person. Like that's just, my mom was 5'2", and after 6 kids, she was 130 pounds. It is the inevitable that I'm just a small frame woman. I can put on weight. It's not going to go in the right places. I can put on weight, or I can take care of what God gave me. I can be happy and grateful that a lot of us, I could be happy and grateful that I have this body and I don't have any illness. I'm not going through chemotherapy. I'm not any of those things. I can be grateful with just being me. Our bodies are in high demand. We can talk for the Kardashians. What they did, shape their body like an hourglass figure. When you look at the movies and you look at just here in Miami alone, we have stunning women of all race, stunning women naturally, and they still say, you know what, I'm gonna take a rib out because I'm not perfect enough. Instead of working on our insides. Don, you got any stories? I got a story, but I don't want to keep talking. I want you to kind of add in if I'm talking too much, child.
The stories of being dark skinned, yes.
You do?
Yeah,
Tell me about yours.
absolutely. Growing up dark skinned, it's like you're just at the bottom of the barrel. All they can
Wow.
say is, oh, it was rare that you heard, oh, that's a pretty black girl. I've never heard that as a child. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I knew I was
Mhm.
loved as a black child, but
Right.
I've never heard someone say, oh, that's a pretty black girl right there. You
Hmm.
know. So I didn't grow up with high self-esteem in terms of my blackness. I had to grow into that as I became older. More so, actually, when I went to beauty school, beauty school helped me identify and myself and who and what I am and come to be. How to beautify myself, how to accept my natural curly hair, how to work on it, how to lift it, how to enhance my beauty naturally. And I think a lot of us, everybody want to uh, enhance themselves because
Right.
when you look great, you feel great, you act great. You're in a
Hmm.
when you look good, you act good. That's just the bottom line. You
Right.
rarely see people that are dressed up fighting or arguing. And if they are, normally somebody's drunk. But
Mm.
if
Huh.
for the most part, when you're dressed well, your overall thinking is elevated. So when you see someone that necessarily doesn't care about how they look, that is all state of being. And everybody, they want to fix their nose. When they get them some change, I want to fix my nose.
Hmm.
I want bigger breasts. I want a larger butt. And when you make these decisions to improve your body, sometimes they're disastrous. you know
Hey, I'm sorry, Don. I did want to go ahead. For those of you that love our show, hey, Keisha, thank you for stopping
oh,
in.
I just
What's the
saw that.
topic? The topic
Hey,
is
Keith.
our beauty is in high, your beauty is in high demand. And if you guys can take a moment while you're watching it live, if you can go to the description and click on Salon Talk, we need you guys to subscribe because we would prefer to have our Salon Talk on Salon Talk. So we need at least 50 subscribers to go in and join. So if you could take some time out real quick and go in there. And then also we have, Don, I wasn't able to put in the courses because I had already created the thing. So afterwards, Dawn has some courses that we're going to talk about a little bit later on that she is offering. I think it's Makeup 101, correct, Dawn?
Yes, makeup 101.
Okay, and what else? You were talking about you have an event that's coming up as well. Well, not coming up with it. You're giving us some time. Can you
Yes,
talk
and
about that real quick?
it's my it's if you could turn this music down. I can't reach from over here, but please and thank you. The we're our we have an annual retreat, and it's it's gonna be the 17th, but it's at a new location, which is like right in our backyard at the PGA in Palm Beach. We normally have it in Naples, Florida, at the Ritz Carlton every year, and it's just a time to like rewind, reset. It's a staycation, and sometimes it's a vacation for some people. You know, from out of state. But we have some really, really great rates, and it's just a time for us to meet new people. It's at a all black resort, black owned resort. So our audience was
Oh,
like had two thumbs up on that particular idea to shift, and it's July 18th, I think, through the 20th at the PGA, 2026.
All right.
Yeah.
So we just want to tell you guys about it. We're going to be mentioning it. So we're just going to keep mentioning it, but we do have the link on there. So you just guys just need to click on it and then, go from there. You can come in. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, Don. And Keisha was
No
talking.
worries.
Hey,
I'm trying
oh,
to.
I like Crown
I don't
Watcher
want to
TV.
move
They
to
said
turn this
also
TV
don't
this
forget to like the
this
video.
down.
Thank you, Crown Watcher. And then Keisha wrote, our culture has trained us to want to look like everyone, but who God made
Thank
us to
you.
be. Don, will your
Yeah.
event or classes eventually offer virtual options? All right, Keisha.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, Keisha.
I like Keisha. Keisha, thank you so much for always supporting us.
Yes.
I'm So Don, you were talking, you were saying that, you went through that whole thing of I used to hear the whole, oh, she pretty to be dark skinned.
Right. That
So
one.
I'm like,
You know.
so what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I saw the other day too, where I guess the young girl, I don't know if you guys watched The Shot, the cute girl, the Keisha on The Shot, and she was
Oh
thanking,
yes.
yeah, she was thanking people because apparently a girl called Lupita. Now you know Lupita is really, really dark skinned, and the girl
Uh
said that Lupita was ugly. And honey, them people went in on whoever the young lady was. And
huh.
and she was like, "Why is she ugly? Is it because she's dark skinned?" And of course, that's
Right.
exactly what it is, right?
Mhm.
Child, them people went in. I said, honey, you better just go ahead and just close out the whole close, just shut this account down and open up another one, honey, because you ain't gonna be able to record. They wasn't with it. Because
Oh
Lupita
my
is
goodness.
gorgeous.
You know,
Oh,
the
that's
internet
okay.
allows us to be so mean
Right.
and
And
hide behind little icons and little little those funny cartoons, those
right,
emojis and things like that. So, you have cyber bullies, you have all these images that are forced upon us that are acceptable, right?
right,
So if my hair is not all the way down, that's what's shown to me in on, Love and Hip Hop. Cause what? They're selling hair. They're selling hair, right? I
right,
like to see hair swinging around the pole. That for some reason that's very sensual to some people, right? That's it.
all
So
right.
they
Mm-hmm.
push. They're pushing hair. So it's all the images that I love and hip hop, but it's the images that the that they push out to us. You know,
Right,
so we want to capture that. That's what the guys are looking at, but that's not what he's looking at. They want to run their fingers through your natural hair. They want to feel your scalp, and I think that's what they mean when they say we want to see your natural beauty. Because who are you when you take all that makeup off? That's very scary to them. You know what I mean? That's what
right.
they're afraid of. Because who is that person when all that makeup comes off? Right?
Exactly.
When that wig comes off, right? So it's just layers and layers and layers of mask and insecurities. You're just layering your insecurities. I can't really go and have it surgically done, so I'm gonna go and purchase an extra butt or padding
Hmm.
or fittings that make my body parts more sensual. So,
Right.
it's all the images in which we view ourselves.
That's
You
so
get you
true.
get
Yeah, that's so
yeah,
true.
you get lost in the sauce, you know.
Listen, Don, this happened to me this week. So my AC, let me tell y'all the story. My AC had cut off, right? I was like, oh my gosh. So they told me that the reason it had cut off was because I had you got to pump out the stuff. This Miami, so you got to you got to vacuum the AC outside. Which I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, one of my guy friends called me, and when they called me, now I'm all sweaty and greasy. I ain't got no makeup on, and my hair was okay, but I was like, oh no. And he like videoed me. And I'm like, oh my god. So I answered the call, but I didn't get on the camera at first, and he was like, well, why can't I see your face? And I'm like, what? Listen, the way it's set up, like I was joking. He said, oh, so you one of them. You don't feel beautiful without your makeup on. Now, what I heard was, it's good to tell everybody else, but you yourself struggle as well. And at that moment, I'm human. I was like, you know what? He's right. So of course I got on. He was like, dang, you look nice. But the point for me was the fact that everybody fall into that every now and then, especially when and I don't wear makeup every day. I wear makeup for salon talk and when I have to do my videos. And when I do my videos that I post every week, I put makeup on, but I do my videos simultaneously that day because I don't really even like wearing makeup, right? Because I didn't want to not feel comfortable in my own skin. And now that I started back wearing makeup like I do, right? I find myself feeling insecure without it. So, which is weird. You know what I mean? So that was a little something that happened to me. So I just wanted to make that statement because a lot of times we think that, you may think that we're on Salon Talk, like we're judging you, and we don't judge our own selves, or we're not human, we don't have the same things. We're saying this because so we can all heal, we can all feel better. You know what I mean? Uh, there is music being played in the background that is distracting and a little loud. Don, you got music playing?
I've tried. It's gone.
Okay. I went to speak to a youth group many years ago when the kids told me the things that other kids and even their teachers would say about their skin color, hair texture. I cried when I got in the car. Wow. Thanks for your transparency, Coach Lee. You're welcome, Keisha. Wow. Now, Keisha, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, I had someone extremely close to me. My daughter is the spitting image of me. She looks exactly like me, except she had, I don't know what her hair is now, but she always had long hair. She got curly hair like you, Don, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jay hair, they used to call her cousin It because her hair used to be like almost to her butt, right? And it was thick. And I used to take her to the bus stop and they used to say, what kind of weave is that? As if to say, a dark skin, which my daughter's beautiful, couldn't have long, thick hair, right? So that was that. Well, I remember I let my daughter spend the night at my, and it could be in your family. A lot of us deal with this, our complexions and different things. It starts at childhood and it could be a relative or whatnot. But I had a particular relative. A matter of fact, my mom said to my daughter, my sister had her son, and my nephew was high. My mom did struggle in that area. I just got to be transparent, child. I can't. And my mom said to her, my daughter, she was at this time, she was like 4, 5 years old. She said, don't get jealous of Jordan because he looks white. And my baby came home. I didn't know what had happened. And then like a couple of days later, I saw she was really like down on herself. Now this is a 4 or 5-year-old kid. And so she had little baby dolls. She said, I don't want the black doll. Mommy, I don't want the black doll. I said, why? You love that doll. It was a black Barbie doll. And so I was like, you love that doll. And so I said, what happened? So I started probing, and then she said, because I'm dark skinned and light skinned is better. And so I was like, who the heck told her that? Now she was at my mom's house and she was at the time my friend's house. So long story short, I called my friend. I was upset. And I was like, hey, you told my babies, so she was like, no, She said, Lee is your mom. because your mom say stuff like that, right? And so I had to have a conversation with my mother, y'all. And I had to let her know how here I am. I think at the time I was like 28, 29, struggling with the things that she put in me. She would make the joke, Ledra, why are you so black? Because I was the darkest child of all her kids. And I didn't think it affected me. I would laugh with them. But after a while, I was like, why am I so dark? Oh, I must be ugly. So I had to work on my child and tell her and show her how beautiful she was. Tell her to embrace her natural hair. Talk about her skin and her beautiful legs, and just reassure her of her natural beauty. And that was something that I had from my mom. Now, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's the islands, because I can't say it's just island people, because I've seen it in Black Americans as well. I've seen it in families there too. You know, like I told you, I had a girl who didn't like me because I was dark skinned, and her mom favored the dark skinned sister, and she was lighter complexions, and they were Black Americans. So you know what I'm saying? It runs deep. It runs deep, and a lot of times your kids don't even tell you that. So Keisha, when you say that it broke your heart to hear that, yeah, because guess what? You know what broke your heart? You know that that's put in them. That's in them now. So now, it's besides them having to figure out who they're going to be in this world, now they got to wrestle with the fact of the insecurities that we see today, right? No, it's not just islanders. We can be ruthless to each other. Yes, we definitely can. I saw today, it's back to school, and I see mothers sewing full sew-ins in little girls' hair. Little girls 9, 10 years old, with wigs, lace front wigs with adhesive on it. And I saw one little girl who had, I saw, well, let me say about 3 little girls who had kind of like grown up hairdos sewn in. And I was just like, wow. They were showing the before. Babies had full grown, gorgeous, curly hair. And you remember, I don't know, Don, now when we grew up, and I know we old school, I know when we grew up, we used to get our hair pressed for we used to get our hair pressed before school started. My mom be like, and I didn't have no AC. My mom be like, and don't go in there and sweat. What? Ain't no AC in the house. You know this part right here gonna be all curly or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. Now in 2025, we telling our kids from the get-go, right out the gate, elementary school, 2 and 3 year olds with wigs on. That's where we at. So these kids from that age gotta fight through that. Hold on. Don, you wanna read this?
Which one?
Crime Watcher TV.
Crime Watch too, especially in the South. They will tell you real quick, stay out of the sun. You get black or dark in the. I feel like the parents can tell their child all day long that they are beautiful when they go when that child go.
To school. You gotta skip over
Oh,
Keisha.
okay. They lace
Go to
front
school.
on their
Uh-huh.
kids. What happened to braids and pigtails? Lord, I'm old school. You know,
Oh, with the little balls on it, Keisha. Right. I
yeah.
forgot about that. You know, you had to have some hair too, because you know, then you had the other little
Mhm.
girls. Crown Watcher say to school, that child goes to school, the child will be amongst their peers and they will be judged, unfortunately. That's very true. But if you instill that in them, it's a lady that I see on Instagram, and she got a beautiful little chocolate baby. It don't matter if she chocolate light skin, but this particular little girl, um, she in the morning she gets up with her and she said, "Time to do it." I don't know if y'all seen that. And she like, and the daughter like, oh, she excited about doing her natural hair. And then the mom do her hair. They in the mirror. The mom does her hair, and then in the end she goes, "Honey, beautiful."
Right.
You instill that into a child, honey. You can't tell. It's I got
Mhm.
some friends. You can't tell them they ain't cute, because they had parents that instilled that into them
Yeah.
long before. So when the peers come, they looking like, honey, I don't know what your problem is. I'm gorgeous. You know?
Yeah.
Crown. Oh yeah. Yeah. What she say in the South? Yeah. In the South.
Mhm.
That is very, very true. So those are some of the things. So we read these things off to him, Keisha. It started off. We segue into this discussion, but I like to do the current events now. And Michael Bazin, I think Michael Bazin, is he off? I think he's with. Is it Ricky Smiley or is it? I wonder. Is it Tom joining them? I don't even know. I forgot. That's how long I don't listen to it. How that is nowadays. You got satellite and your own music. I got Spotify. Child. But he's asked the men what are some of the things that they did not like. And I'm gonna
Oh
scroll. Let me
my God.
see one more. Hold on. Let me see if I got any more. Them
That
men,
was
them
what,
men
like
went
15
in,
minutes?
honey. So they called the popcorn. They called the
15
Jiffy
minutes?
popcorn hair. The women walking
22.
around with the bonnets with the Jiffy popcorn hair bonnets. The bonnet mafia.
Oh my God.
And we said to y'all, stop going outside with the bonnets. And they was complaining about the pajama. What the man said, they got a full the pillow. Wait, this man said the pillow. This is celebrity barber Willie, the celebrity barber Green. That pillowcase they call a bonnet with pajamas in public. These are the things men don't like. And somebody came on there to to try to justify. I'm like, but it would be different if what they're saying is not true, but it's actually true. The man said, y'all got the bonnets with the pajamas in public. Please stop doing the bonnet. It is classless. Casket ready makeup and sun visor lashes. I'm done. That man said casket ready makeup. That means y'all and Don, can you go ahead and explain the difference in makeup? Like when you should be over, like you know what I'm saying, all this makeup, and like I remember there was a time where they say like, okay, for dramatic makeup you wear for this. Do y'all still have that, or has because it's 2025? They do, you know what I'm saying? Like I see them doing this makeup thing and they put the makeup on, they go to the grocery store. Do y'all have it where it's like, okay, this is after five makeup and this is a makeup? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you guys still go by that rule of thumb or is that just out the door?
Well, all beauty rules are out the door. It's
Mm,
along with the bonnets and the eyelashes and the pajamas outside. So,
right,
when it comes to beauty nowadays, nobody has, they don't have any rules or, I'm going out here how I feel like.
mm,
But the law is, or the rule of thumb is, your lashes are not to exceed your false lash that you put on. It should not exceed your forehead. So
right,
that's the correct call when it comes to applying false lashes, to the eyes. False lashes is a part of the beauty industry. It's a beauty enhancer, right?
right,
Just like mascara is. So, but the culture takes it to the extreme. So I think when we fall to the extreme end of things to more the exaggerated part of beauty, it's a cry for help. It's the extended lashes, the bonnet, all those things are signs of low self-esteem. So I would go to say the lower your self-esteem, the longer your lashes are, or the
right.
more hideous your beauty appearance tends to be. Right before I knew how to apply makeup on my face, I would be a lighter shade. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" But I just wanted to cover up the acne. I didn't
Mm,
know any better. Right, I was like, I
mm,
just need to put this makeup on, and like all the marks and stuff that's in my face go away.
right,
So I just, I didn't know that you had to find the proper color to match my skin tone, right?
right,
In terms of foundation. And then I had to learn, am I using the correct foundation for my skin type? You know, Makeup is accessible to everywhere. You go in Walgreens and get it,
right.
the grocery store, makeup can be purchased anywhere, but
Now
is it the right? Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I wanted to say this. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Now, the first time, the first time and the only time that I ever used to see over dramatic eyelashes were on the drag queens, the RuPaul show, remember? And they did
Mhm.
the so that's where I saw that, and that's I thought that's where it would stay at, right?
Mhm.
Then I went to California, which I saw Kim Kimball. You know, I used to love Kim Kimball, right?
Mhm.
We went to her thing, and then we went to a drag queen. It was like a restaurant, and they did the whole show. It was fabulous, and they had
Mhm.
those dramatic lashes, but it was understood, and you knew why.
Mhm.
So that's why I said last week, and I say it again. Those are like costumes. That's not something you wear every day. And why is it so over dramatic for you? We know that you're a woman. Like, why is that? Why are you wearing? It's like they're wearing performance like on every day type of
You
thing.
need
And I
you need some
remember,
you need some attention. It's what it's called.
right, but that's the wrong.
I need some attention.
But you don't care that
Mhm.
people laughing at you, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, um, somebody's looking.
right, and but it's giving off what you want to give it off. Now the other
Right.
thing is, Keish, I remember what's her name, Felicia Rashad was on what's the show, Breakfast Club, and she made the comment because the guy was asking like, "What do you think of the state of the women?" What you laughing at? You reading the comments? You want to read them?
Crime Watch said the longer the lashes, the less self esteem you have. He never heard that before, but it's true.
What's before that? They wrote
Crime
something
Watch.
else.
I've never worn false lashes. A good mascara is all that I need. I need it sometimes. If you do want to extend them, get some more natural looking lashes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I used to do the fiber, the with the fiber, and then you do the wax thing, and
Hmm.
I'm good for that because
Yeah.
sometimes my lashes be in it, I can't even put them on good, honey.
I love
But
lashes.
huh?
I love lashes. I love lashes.
Well,
I
you
love
have some
lashes.
nice lashes though, Don. The
Thank
mink
you.
lashes is fire. So,
Yes. Thank
um,
you. Thank you very much. But
yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
I absolutely love lashes. And I just think the when it comes to enhancing your beauty, you have to be mindful. Like,
Hmm.
does this look natural? You
Yeah.
can't think that it looks natural. Like you didn't look at that and said it looks natural
Hmm.
from the cosmetic surgery, from the oversized lips, the Botox. It's like, it's their vision of themselves in their
Right.
head. So it's like I don't think they don't think they look terrible.
Hmm. Yeah. I know every one of us done had that friend that when they take their makeup off, we was like, "Dog, you look better without your makeup." Or you had that friend when they take the weave out, you like, "Girl, why is you wearing weave all the time?" And they always come with it, "Girl, my hair just don't act right," or "Oh, it's too much." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Dang, you know, we really backwards when we will take the time out, find out what kind of texture hair it is, know what kind they need, right? I'm talking about the weave. We will
Mhm.
order it, ship it in, pay for shipping, pay for all of this stuff, right? Get the hair in. Now you want to, and now when they saw it in, okay, so how I take care of it?
Mhm.
But you will not do that with your own hair. Your beauty is in high demand. We are black women. Our beauty is in high demand. And the reason why I keep saying this is because I wanted to get the message across because I know people got offended by the comments that were made. But what I'm explaining to you is that we are some of the most beautiful women in the world, but we cannot see our own beauty. We're, as Don said earlier, we're trying to look like everyone else, and then we get offended when a brother or someone else says to you, "You're trying to look like something that you're not. Why don't you wear your natural beauty?" You're offended that someone is telling you you look beautiful naturally. The things that you're trying to get, people want what you have. People want it, and we don't see it because for many years, from being children, it was embedded in us that being dark skinned is ugly. Having short hair is ugly. Being skinny is ugly. Um, being overweight is ugly. Instead of saying, hey, oh, I'm overweight, let me work on my health. We don't think about the internal. We think about the cosmetics of things. And the cosmetics of things are the things that people want. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. I'm gonna read this real quick. LOL, no, it isn't. Okay. We don't even know that one. Oh, good. Oh. How did I put on this thing where they can where we can it's supposed to block them out, but we did good. But anyway, I had a good friend. This was about 15 years ago, and the friend was a little heavy on the top, right? She was a bigger size girl. Um, all right, Crown watching. She was heavy on the top, and it was she. You know how it is after you have kids. Sometimes our breasts get bigger or whatever. And she was a gorgeous girl, right? But she was just like, I would be perfect if I just get these down. And I understood it because you understand, I understood where she was coming from. And she was like, oh, and then the doctor said, okay, now you got to lose some weight. So she went and lost some weight. And then she lost like about 30 pounds and she looked even greater. And she was like, oh, now I'm getting my surgery. And she went in, they went to prep her and everything. Guess what, y'all? They found a lump. And she ended up having breast cancer. She's still here today. But all of that mindset of, if I do this, I'll be perfect. All of that went out the window because now it was something serious because now she was fighting for her life. All right. She was fighting for her life. This was an older woman. And it when I saw her, she went through it. She lost her hair. She lost her hair. She had to get them removed. So she went from that to, oh my gosh, I just want some breast. Okay. And so, they did the reconstructive and she looks great. She's in a better place. She went through a lot for something that everybody wanted. So these videos, these live videos, and Don and I sitting together, coming up with the things that we're thinking about, what it is that our audience need, what is it? And our audience, believe it or not, is glad she was able to catch it. Yes. Our audience are you. And what we see in our beauty world when it comes to our Black women, right? Now, it's open to everybody, but we're the ones that are making these decisions. And we cannot, for the life of us, for whatever the reason was, trauma as a child, trauma in relationships, being with a jerk that didn't think you were beautiful, told you weren't beautiful, and that affected you. Whatever it is, you feel overweight, and instead of dealing with going through it naturally, we doing what's the injections they doing, and everybody looking like zombies now. What's that? What's the thing? Ozempic, So we doing all these different things, and what you have is in high demand. That young lady, right, that older woman, she's not that old. I think that she went through that when she was like 35. She wasn't old. So, but at that time, her focus was to get the smaller breast so she can, make her body perfect. She was already perfect. She had a husband that loved her and didn't care. But because she was so focused on that little girl, she told me, and I forgot to mention this part, that little girl that was picked on as a kid because she was heavier set. She was so focused on that she didn't see her beauty. She couldn't see that. All she saw was if whatchamacallit. And I do it like this. In my life, in the beauty industry, Don, you can attest to this. There are certain goals that we set, right? There are certain goals that we set for ourselves. In your whatever career it is that you're doing. And then you reach the goal. And you're like, yay, I reached the goal. Then you're like, okay, what's the next thing? A lot of times, I could say for myself, I fight to live in the present moment instead of being able to take that in what I, worked hard for and be able to embrace it and be like, be proud of myself. I'm on to the next thing. I'm never satisfied. The Bible says the flesh is never satisfied, right? A lot. That is what I'm saying. The things that you guys are trying to get rid of, people want it. And even if they don't want it, people just want to be healthy. People are checking out every day. They ain't thinking about no, you know what I'm saying? You know, they don't take it. They're losing their hair because they got to go to chemo. We're losing our
Mhm.
hair because a lot of us are, not all of us, but a lot of us are losing our hair because we don't like ourselves. And that is what those comments, they're saying, we hate the fact that you hate yourself, and we have to walk around with you demonstrating the hate that you have for yourself, period.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Dawn,
what
she asked you a question. You want to read that one, Keisha?
Don, do you ever encounter people who don't take care of their skin under the makeup and you realize they struggle with self esteem? Do you talk to them about it or do you don't say anything? Um, Thanks for that, Keisha. I always give a consultation during the, before the service. Like if I could get it like a picture, beforehand. And if they're not able to get a makeup application, then I don't do that service. So if they have severe acne, lesions on the skin, open lesions on the skin, I deny makeup services. Me myself personally, you have to. I refer them to a doctor, a dermatologist, so they can go in and obtain some serious treatments, so they can get their skin under control and get rid of all that inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can go ahead and proceed with a makeup application. They're in need of repair. The skin is in need of repair before they could be beautified. So it needs to heal first, and then you could go in and put some makeup on.
And
Um,
and and
mhm,
typically when they don't want that, then you
mhm.
got to tell them, baby, you got to heal inside, because they're like,
You're
if
breaking
I
up.
do that, then I can't wear makeup, and I'm not going to do that. I need makeup, so they're going to
The
keep trying
makeup
to
is
cover
causing the
over it, right?
problem. No, the
Right,
makeup is the makeup is furthering the problem. Right?
right,
You have to
right,
stop. That's just like us going in, and we see when we take this install out that the customer is losing their hair, but because we don't know how to do anything else, we continue to do this service, knowing that each time the client comes in, the client is losing their hair, but we won't suggest anything else because we don't do anything else. So it'll wait until the client is completely bald before we come in and hopefully by the time you find another service that you can offer the client. But we won't take accountability and say no because we're so hungry for the money. You've just contaminated all your brushes and all your implements by applying cosmetics on someone's face that's inflamed.
right.
It tells you in the cosmetology book that broken skin is the first area in which bacteria enters the body. So
Whew.
you just have to be mindful and say, and you have to think of yourself. I do now after
Mm-hmm.
years of being in the industry, over 34 years of being in the industry, and
Mm-hmm.
as an educator, I don't stress enough to my students and to my fellow colleagues that prevention is key. You know how you go out here and you tell people, oh, use a condom, use a condom, use a
Mm-hmm.
condom, use a condom. It's like you could beat that on your chest. You can scream it to the top of your lungs, but people just don't adhere until it's too late, until they're infected. And there's so many things that we're infected and that are transferable doing a
Mm-hmm.
beauty service that we all we have to do is say no, If the client is inflamed, if you see any inflammation, the client has inflammation around the scalp from the lace front. Why would you offer her an install?
Right.
Why would you go in and place another install on top of inflammation? The skin is inflamed, it's raw, it's infected, it's open to bacteria. The body is open to bacteria. So you won't go in and proceed with that service. And you have to take accountability and say no. You know, if
Right.
she wants to go in and put that on herself, that's on her. But you as a professional, that's where your professional ethics come in.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You would want to hope that the doctor doesn't come to work drunk or high.
What? You gotta hope the doctor don't come to work drunk.
Drunk
Baby, you
or
know you at least
high,
under 305.
before performing a service. So you have to be mindful of and take accountability.
You can't see y'all. They can hear me talking. I wanted to say, Dawn and I had this conversation. I was like, "You're right." She said, "Lee, we not just aesthetics. Our license, and not just our license, because you always hear us saying licensed in this, but it is important to have. Now,
Mhm.
wait a minute, but we are here to restore. So we don't just deal with the aesthetics. Our goal is to educate the women to understand the severity of not taking care of your hair and not taking care of your health, not taking care of your skin. As Dawn says, the skin is the largest organ in on your body, and that's the thing that we really don't take care of. I want to read real quick what Crime Watcher had to say. Crime Watcher says, "What we have has always been in high demand." That's right. Voluptuous lips, yes, baby. Black girl butt lift, high cheekbones, all right. Hourglass shapes, hardworking and innovative. Nothing wrong with getting extensions, but it need to be our texture. I like that. I like that. Go ahead, Crime Watcher. Look at Keisha say, "All right, Crime Watcher, right." Crime Watcher also says, "Are braids good to get as long as they are done right, or should braids be avoided altogether?" Don, you want to answer that?
Say that again. I didn't hear.
Are braids good to get as long as they are done right, or should braids be avoided altogether?
No, I think braids are part of the culture. I
Mm-hmm.
started out doing braids on my mama porch. You know,
Hmm.
so I welcome braids. I still do braids. I love braids. However, I think we need to be mindful that the braider herself, is she licensed, right? So if she is not licensed, is she taking the proper step to keep me safe while she's putting in this particular braid style? Okay, is from hygiene to the way she actually
Drop it.
imparts the extensions, apply the extensions, and you have to consider the weight of the extensions, because if your hair is very coily, thin, low density, high density, can your hair take on these braids? And remember, if your hair is coily, you're locking within 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Right.
The curlier the hair is going to lock a lot faster. So
Mm-hmm.
unless you intend on wearing locks or locking your hair, you want to be mindful of the length of time that you put in your hair. I
Right.
mean, you put the braids in, but I love braids. Um, I love braids.
Yeah, they need to be done properly. And please, if you got to start your braid closer to the center of your head, you're not a candidate for that. So yeah, that would be a yes and a no. Like that means that you're losing. If you're losing the frontal of your hair, and they doing all the you have to do the, what do you call it, camouflage. You
Mhm.
need to take a break. That's not, you're not. You have to make sure. And there's nothing wrong with braids, as Don so eloquently explained it. It's just the fact that you can see. I mean, we can see you from outside that the front is gone, but then you coming in there and you telling the person to braid it even more so that hairline can go far back, and then you be on social media talking about, "I have alopecia." But
Well,
you didn't have to have that. What you was about to say, Don?
if you're the thing with braids, right, is that you don't do the same. If you're a braid wearer, you're not going to wear the same style each time you have your hair braided, right?
Right.
Because that's going to cause traction alopecia. So
Right.
if you always just go in and get your hair shampooed and just go in and get your hair braided straight back, those
Hmm.
straight back partings will eventually become bald because
Right.
it's it's the same part. So each time you receive a braid job, you should have alternate partings in your hair. Even when you wear your when I do my track downs for my install, I never braid the client the same way I braided her the first time
Right.
for her sew in. So each time um her base is new because you have to remember to stimulate the scalp, you have to put the hair in the opposite direction.
Hmm.
Okay. So you want to stimulate and make sure you are promoting hair growth and not hair departure. So that comes in with your install. So every single service that you do is in an effort to repair, restore, or enhance the client's hair or skin. So if that particular service is gonna tear their skin up, tear their hair apart, or leave their hair in distress, you have to find an alternative way. And that's what separates the old school from the new school,
You
from the
better
people
say
that's
it.
actually putting in the work and doing the
Right.
work, because they're the ones that are gonna keep that hair on their head, right?
Right.
That's your whole objective as a professional. So if you're using a braider, always remember alternate your partings, and your braid should not be in past 6 weeks.
Mm. That's good,
And
Don.
you're
That's good info
shampooing
right
in
there.
between.
Hmm.
You're shampooing in between. So you're still shampooing your hair in between those 6 weeks. But after 6 weeks, you need to take that down, really go in and get all that debris that's been left or in your hair. Remember, it's still trapped in there. Your hair is braided down, okay? It's
Right.
mended together. So you have to release all of that and get all that debris off the hair. No style should last forever. And I think we need to
Mm.
get out of that mindset that, oh, I need this, give me this hairstyle and I need it to last for a month. It's like it's ludicrous. What style is gonna last a month? Your nails don't last all month. They grow
Right.
out, right?
Right.
So how could you expect for your hairstyle to last for months or weeks or days? When you go to sleep and you lay down, your hair is supposed to move, number one.
Hmm.
Your hair is
Right.
never supposed to be frozen. We're not in that time or that era where we had like the stack waves and remember that hairstyle? The, the stacks, the back in Miami, you had the
Right. Right.
stacks, you know.
Facts.
So yeah, we're not there. So your hair is supposed to move, and that also lets you know the elevation of your social status,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because if that hair is pasted down, we already know that's low budget. Those
Right.
styles are low budget styles when it's frozen down to your head.
Yeah. There,
Okay.
there
Mhm.
is a difference between a cosmetologist, y'all,
Mhm.
and a hairstylist. Even though you hear me say it a
Mhm.
lot, I always bring this up to you. We don't cosmetologists don't just deal with the aesthetics. We have to deal with the science of things. It's not. That's why we can explain. We can break down color. We understand how to. It's so many different levels in cosmetology, and then we're just not the hair. We do as Dawn lets you know. She's into the skin. She's an esthetician. We can be esthetician. That license carries a lot of weight. But the one thing you want to make sure of as well is the difference between a cosmetologist and a hairstylist. What makes them the same is what would make them the same if they don't get continuing education, if they don't continue to learn and educate themselves about the hair, not the latest hairstyle. because we can look at any new trend cut and we can look at it and say that's a uniform cut, that's a graduation cut. We can look at it and tell, and just we can look at it and just cut it that way, because that is the different levels. Hairstylists a lot of time are the ones that may have a specialty license, right? And they good at their braiders, as she spoke about. They could do weaves and different things like that, but they are not. They don't have the education of the science. So when it comes to chemicals, and they're limited to that, it doesn't take away from them, but that's what they are. So you can't go to them, right? As Don said, hey, if you're a braider, do you braid the hair the same way or not? You can't go to them and expect for them to understand why my hair is breaking off. You can't go to them and say, why do I have these flakes in my hair? What's going on? Why is my hair
Right.
thinning? Right? That's where they would then have to send you to a doctor, or you know what I mean? So
All
we would be able to say,
cosmetology.
okay, it might be the shampoo. It's different things that we
Hmm.
could be able to look at that they don't. So
Right.
that's one of the good things to, like, I wanted to bring out. Now I want to go ahead and read. Keisha says, hold on, let me see. Abigail, med grade wigs need to be a thing. Yes, yes, absolutely, Abigail. Thank you for bringing that out. I'm not sure if she's still here, but thank you for bringing that out. Right.
They
Because,
do. They have med grade. That is the SME medical grade
yeah,
wig.
yeah,
Yes, they
medical.
have those.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they didn't got into the hands that they do have them, right? But,
Yeah, they have them.
they ain't, they not using them. Keisha says, yes, we need the proper education because so many people want to look good, but the hair and skin have been abused because of lack of knowledge. Amen. Not just the lack of knowledge, Keisha, but a lot of them don't really love themselves and they just want to cover it up. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at my coils. I hate that my hair is kinky. They don't, or I hate my curly hair. I can never wear my own curly hair. I hate my hair is thin. I hate my hair is cotton. I hate my skin. I wish my skin was lighter. Right? So we have that as well. Keisha also says, I love braids, but they always run off my hair. So I just admired them in other people's head. Keisha, I'm the same way. Like I'm not bold enough to get I love dreads. I think it's the sister, what they sister locks. Oh my God, I love those things. But child, I'm scared when they first lock it and then you can see your scalp. I don't like that. Because you gotta take time for it to grow. I don't have the patience. So I definitely understand. I just admire them from afar. I be wanting to play in them and everything, girl. All right. So that's just my thing on it. So we don't went over the time with that, and it was something else I wanted to say. Um, these these the lives are, of course, to help us, right? Who was Jasmine said all it? Thank you, Jasmine. The lives, these videos are put together. These topics are put together to give you the service that you need. Don and I have been working and talking about some of the courses that we want to start giving out to you guys. Not everything is listed on there, but by tomorrow morning there will be a list of it. We do have Don's email, my email on if you have any questions that you want to ask. Hers is ask the beauty expert. Okay. So you can go on there as well. Please, guys, if you're on here, please, we need at least 50 subscribers so we can start going live on the actual Salon Talk channel. The link is in the description. Dawn also mentioned her event that she's having next year, July 18th through, I believe, the 21st, 2026. So you're going to keep hearing more and more about it. And then she'll let us know when tickets are available, when we can start, purchasing tickets. It's going to be in West Palm Beach. So really, really excited about that. I wasn't able to go to this one, but I'm kind of glad it's closer and I should be ready by then. Um, Don, do you have anything else to say?
Yesterday was my birthday.
No, Don, I thought you said it was the 14th. Oh my God, Don, I'm gonna kill you. It's on the phone and everything. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Don.
Thank
Two
you. I'm
Leo
still waiting for
child.
my mom to call me, so she'll call me one day.
Girl, you can't make this stuff up. Now, y'all, I was on the phone with Don forever and a day. Yes,
Oh my
please, y'all
goodness.
say happy
Thanks,
birthday to
Keisha.
Don. Shout
Thank
out to the
you.
Leos. We got two Leos on here.
Yes,
What you do
yes.
for your birthday?
I just floated around on the little river.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The finer things in life. The finer things
That's
in life.
all.
Huh?
That's all. Just floated around on the river.
But Keisha, I'm almost positive, but you know what? I have so many friends that birthdays are in the month of August. I have another friend, hers is on the 14th. So I kept saying, oh, yours is coming this week. I said, oh, Dawn's gonna come in this week. So
Yeah.
I guess it's her. And I was like, somebody said the 9th, which was yesterday.
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
gosh. Happy birthday, Dawn.
Thank you
You're
so
looking
much.
fabulous,
I
honey.
appreciate it. Thanks,
You're
Keisha.
looking
12
fabulous
Y.
as always, honey.
I'm not.
Represent. Shout out to Don Ferguson. I want to cuss, but I ain't gonna curse y'all. I'm wearing a dress.
And
I gotta be
y'all
very.
know Keisha birthday. I mean, Lee birthday was last week.
Yeah, we had said it because you had said happy birthday
Oh,
in the
okay.
beginning. So you making me
Okay.
look bad, Don. You made me
Okay.
look bad. That's that's real messed up. You know what
That's
I'm
not my
saying?
intent.
That wasn't your intent. Okay.
No. Um,
Do people need to subscribe to your channel or subscribe to else to get the 50? It's in there. It says Salon Talk on the description. And yeah, that not my channel. I mean, subscribe to mine too, but it's Salon Talk as well. Thank you. Yeah, I was the third and Don was the ninth. We 6 days apart. We're no, we not all that. No, you know I can't fake the phone now. But I can't believe this girl sitting on the phone with me ain't one time. And so what you were saying, child, this girl don't even remember it's my birthday. You can't make
No,
this
I
stuff
mean,
up.
I don't expect people to remember my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister called and said, "I'm so sorry. I'm late." And I'm like, "Girl, I'm not thinking. You ain't thinking of sitting around thinking about me, are you all day?" And she just bust out laughing. But anyway, it was a joy that whenever she remembered, she called. So,
Right.
I am celebrated every day. My husband celebrates me every day. So
All right.
it was a joy to have others join me on my special day.
Shout out
So
to
thank you.
Wesley. But you know what? You know why you feel like that? Because we don't really need
uh,
that. We be our own, like, you understand? So that's why you like,
yeah,
it is a don't worry, I took care of myself. That's how Leos are, honey. That's how we
yes.
are. It's a
But
blessing
thank
to see
you.
another birthday. Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially the things that we have gone through. It
Yeah.
is, definitely is. So we have enjoyed another session on Salon Talk, guys. Please do not forget to go and subscribe because I only seen two. I know it's a new channel, but we need you guys on there as well. And be looking forward to Dawn is going to be posting some videos as well. So let's look forward to that.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Rocking Johnny. Hello, beautiful
Thank
girls.
you.
You are both looking gorgeous. Absolutely.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we will see you guys next week, 7 p.m., same time on
Hmm.
Salon Talk. Hopefully, we'll be able to go on there. If you guys subscribe, click the link in the description. If you go ahead and do that, hopefully we can go there instead of having to continue to go on Ask a Licensed Cosmetologist. All right, so we'll see you next Sunday. Happy
Hmm.
birthday to the beautiful celebrity Dawn Mother Ferguson.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.